here's the thing. I don't divulge what I see in people's homes, and I never... Funny?
There's got to be something. What if you found in closets?
Right. No, you don't want... Okay, let's just say...
Do you look in the nightstand? Guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to the Smart Move podcast, a place where I give you the most information to become an educated buyer or seller. Thank you for coming back and listening, and we hope you enjoy today's episode. Sure to give you all of the insight you need to become the best seller you can be and most inquisitive buyer shopping this market. So as you guys all know, I love all things home and interior design, and that is why I am so excited to introduce you to our very special guest, Alla Lowe from Dazys Collection Staging and Interior Design. That is a mouthful.
You're welcome for that.
And I love you for that. Welcome, Alla. So good to see you. Thanks for being one of my first guests. I need to start by saying that we have kind of come full circle.
We have. 2017,
I was doing some video blogs and you were one of my first guests there. I think we are going to have a shot of that playing. We look like children.
Oh, great.
We're adorable though.
I love it.
But
I love it.
What I loved most is that you gave such great tips then. I'm looking forward to just kind of getting a little more personal with you, but then also giving some tips to our listeners or those that are watching. So most people probably know who you are if they follow me. But for those that don't, tell me who you are, what you do. Why are you here sitting next to me with your fabulous nails?
I'm here. Thank you. I'm here because of you. No, I'm here because I love working with you, first and foremost.
Thank you.
But I primarily do home staging, interior redesign. I work primarily with realtors and their clients.
Nice.
I'm usually the person that the realtor, yourself, calls me in to assist their homeowners with prepping their home, preparing it for marketing, for photo shoots, for basically all the marketing material that will be presented by yourself for the upcoming sale of the property. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
Because you do so much more. I know for me, you help me a lot with consults with my clients. And in that, you also will just style a property.
That's right.
So it's not even just the staging process. It's starting right from that first phone call when I'm calling you.
And that really is a first step that I think is so, so important.
Yeah.
Just for people to kind of get an idea as to how a home should be presented for the market.
Absolutely.
It's such a different approach to how we live and also how we present our homes. Consultation is paramount. Just that detailed walkthrough, the room by room walkthrough where we can talk about what needs to stay, what needs to go. And it's always from the perspective of how is it going to appear in photography? How is it going to appear in all the marketing material? Will every photo flow? Will each room kind of be cohesive with the next? So it's really putting together a package, but it's the first step to putting that package together.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that people might not know. The average, I don't want to say average, but the normal consumer doesn't know that what we're trying to do as realtors, as a stager, is present the home to the masses.
That's right.
So it is very hard for some clients when, we come in and we're like, do this, do that, and the other thing, but we're actually doing it to give them more benefit in the sale for their home, correct?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think this is where it sets, I want to say it really, in my experience, it sets the realtors apart. Where when I entered the industry, full-heartedly. I mean, I started my company 15 years ago, but full-heartedly only...
She was also 15 when she started.
I love you so much. But I started the company 15 years ago, but fully and only focusing on staging 8 years consistently. Because prior to that, I can go into that part of the story a little bit afterwards. But prior to that, I was doing more interior design and home decor.
Okay.
And anyway, so just watching the trend and just seeing how some realtors get what needs to happen and some are still kind of going by the old playbook and just saying, let's get it up quick and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Whereas you really need to realize that people are visual. They're scrolling online. They have been brought up by HGTV and every home decor show, and they have a certain expectation of how a home should look and how it should be presented. And the realtors that understand that part of it and understand the proper steps that need to be taken benefit.
Absolutely.
It benefits, and really they are working hard for the homeowner.
Yeah.
So.
And we can say that from experience too, even in where we were a very competitive market for sellers that they literally could put their home on the market without staging. We still felt, as you being in my back pocket of people that I use for resources, we still felt it was still beneficial to the seller and that they were actually retaining more in their pocket.
That's right.
After staging, even in a seller's market.
To me, it's a no-brainer. Like, I mean, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in the industry. I'm in the industry because it's the steps that I really want people to take.
Totally.
It's a no-brainer. Before you're presenting something to the masses, to the public, would you not want it to be shown in its best possible light? I mean, it's as simple as we all dress up before we go out and present ourselves. We all, elevate ourselves a little bit better. We want to show the best possible version
100%.
of ourselves and your home. Even in the fast-paced market, as we experienced last year, yes, staging was still, I was busier than ever.
Totally.
Because the realtors that get it, they get it. And they are working hard for their sellers. And they're not just taking a quick, let's flip it, put it on the market and reap the rewards. Put it up. Show it in its best possible light. Maximize this property's fullest potential. And then reap the rewards.
Absolutely. And now think of it coming into what we're looking at, a stabilized market, but we're seeing it as a bit more of a buyer's market. So absolutely now is the time to be presenting the home. So I hope that you are busier than ever this year.
I am busy again. I am. And it's again, you have to understand the benefits of both markets, right? And you have to understand why it's important to still do it. In the slower market, yes, right now it's a buyer's market. There's maybe a plethora of inventory, right? You want to stand out.
100%.
You want to stand out.
Yeah.
So polish your home up. Take the few steps. Take the time to do the legwork before, and then sit back and reap the rewards.
And if your realtor is not telling you to use a stager, number one, that is going to be a red flag for me as a seller, and that should be for you as a seller. That's one thing that I'm going to educate people on is that if your realtor is not suggesting a stager, red flag right away. And if they're not suggesting a stager, call Alla.
Call me. And I've had people do that.
Yeah.
I have had people.
Yes, you have.
I have, where they have worked with a realtor. The realtor refused upon the seller's request. The realtor has refused to hire a decorator, stager, anyone, just to come in and consult on what should be done.
Yeah.
For whatever their reason is. That's not my, and the homeowners have reached out to me, just figuring it out through the grapevine or maybe talking to other friends and whatnot, talking to other realtors and saying, this is something that I do want. And it's actually something that I'm willing to pay for themselves. And then I tell them that, a really good realtor will pay for certain services. And
Absolutely.
They don't know this.
I know.
They don't.
We've actually been in a situation where that happened.
100%.
I can remember. Yeah. So
100%.
And it while it didn't work, I don't even know that they ended up selling. But either way, this does come across your plate often.
It happens regularly. And this is where I think educating the public on how the market works and how what is there to benefit from?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when you hire realtors that are willing to go above and beyond, that do understand how to market a property properly through media, through presentation, through whatever it takes. You take the time and you do that.
100%. I would say that's probably really great advice that we can give to the seller at this point. Is there something that you want to add on top of that? Is there some really valuable resource that we haven't really touched on other than use a stager or use a realtor that
well,
can,
that's it.
that will?
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, do your homework. Please interview several realtors. When you are getting ready to sell your property, please interview several realtors and work with the one that is willing to listen to you.
Yes.
That is willing to put forth any resources.
Yeah.
Work with decorators, work with painters, work with maybe handy people that need to make small repairs and anything. Work with realtors that know how to market your property.
Yeah, 1,000%. I love that. That is great advice. Well, I'm sure, we are interested in your accomplishments because you've done a lot. I mean, over the course of 15
It's
and
been
let's
many
say
years.
like eight years,
Yeah.
I mean, you've done a ton. You've done, if you follow me at all, you will know Alla is my main stager and has been since I ventured out on my own. So that's been,
When did you do it? When was it?
2015.
15, 16. But it was 17 is when I started. Yeah, it was very soon after you started.
17 was when you did the video blog with me.
Okay.
So it was probably around the same
around
time.
that time.
So you've been doing this for a long time, but I think what everyone really actually wants to hear, as much as they love that fact, they want to hear...
How did I start?
No, they want to hear some funny staging stories.
Oh,
okay, maybe they don't, but I sure as heck do.
Funny. Here's the thing. I don't divulge what I see in people's homes, and I never... Funny?
There's got to be something. What have you found in closets?
Right. No, you don't want... Okay, let's just say...
Do you look in the nightstand?
Well, this is it. So I work with I have an amazing, amazing assistant. The rule of
Keep
thumb
it PG rated.
Yeah, it's PG rated. It is. But I work with an amazing assistant. She's fantastic. Her name is Farah.
We love Farah.
And I love Farah too. I try not to, when I come into a person's home, I'm there to do my job. I go in.
You are very professional.
But yeah, no, we don't look in people's bedside drawers because unfortunately, yes, we've seen stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason we saw something in the bedside drawer is because we needed to hide something that was on the bedside table anyway. But I don't know. Funny, I don't know.
I'm always like, I wonder, like, if you
Tell me what
I don't
you-
know. I've seen my share of
I can
things.
tell you the
Oh, my
scariest
Lanta.
room I've ever seen.
Yeah, let's hear your scariest.
The scariest room I've ever seen.
Was it full of clowns?
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
that
that
was
wouldn't
one of
scare
mine.
me. The scariest room I've ever seen was a homeowner. They were sweet. Oh my gosh, they were the sweetest people and very eclectic, very creative They were artists. They had a parrot, and the parrot had the run of the room, the bedroom.
Oh.
It was basically the bedroom.
thing was flying
the
around?
bedroom was the parrot's domain. And the only thing they had in the room was a four-poster bed.
Okay.
And the parrot
thing.
just used the room as and
that would terrify
the
me.
room was covered in.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been a hard
I don't know if
stage.
we want to talk.
No. That is scary.
is
Mine
scary.
would have been
Never
more
mind.
clowns, but yeah, a bird flying around my head too. Also terrifying.
Birds, yeah. I've had snakes. Snakes,
yeah.
that's the thing.
We've seen those.
Yeah.
We've had.
That was
yeah.
actually yours.
Yes.
That was yours.
Do you know that I actually ended up having that snake crawl on me? Can you believe it? I know. I went to visit the client after they moved.
Yeah.
And
No.
there was
that
a
was
picture.
yours. I just remembered
know.
that.
Yeah.
So
lovely.
snakes.
Apparently, snakes are lovely creatures.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
had one crawling on me. And
You're
here we are.
awesome. That's no. I draw the line at snakes. Snakes and rodents. If they're in the home, I pray.
It's hard.
I pray that
It
they're
is.
not in my.
I know. We also,
workspace.
as realtors and stagers, try to get rid of, or not rid, but like let's find a home.
let's
for
find
them
somewhere else
during
for them
that time.
for the comfort of the pet.
Yeah, exactly. How do you stay on top of design trends? Like this is something. Again, because of HGTV and all those things, we're looking at, okay, now there's this, now there's that.
By the time a trend lands on HGTV, it's been done because it's I mean, some of it could be just the beginning, some could be. So my background is, just to give you a little bit of roundabout, my background is actually fashion design. That's where I started. And my passion has always been art history, architecture. I source museums. I go anytime I'm traveling, I'm in a museum, I'm in a gallery. If I'm in a bookstore, I look at historical art books.
Yeah.
So I study that, but I mean, right now it's just so easy. It's easy. You open your phone and go on
Totally.
Pinterest, go on Architectural Digest, you name it, right? I follow architects. I follow anything like that. It's easy to stay on top of trends. We're kind of bombarded by them almost to a certain degree. But what I draw from is, because my passion is art and architecture and art history, I draw from that.
Okay.
I'm not so quick to jump on some of the trends that I can tell as soon as they land that they're going to be fly-by-nights.
You're more classic and traditional.
I tend to be, I guess. Yeah.
I think that's why we work well together.
And I think it helps me in walking into any style of home and recognizing the theme or recognizing the common thread and embellishing on it. Because my goal is always to make a home feel cohesive rather than, oh, the stager was here. Because that doesn't go with that. And it looks a little awkward and disconnected.
Yeah.
So I love that, so art history. Yeah. But again, like I said, Pinterest.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. We love a Pinterest moment. It really is.
There's a lot of inspiration.
It's overwhelming at times. So that's why it's also good that you're there, right? Yeah. Doing that kind of background work and educating yourself in that sense. Is there something that you lean more towards, like boho, minimalist? I don't know.
Do you know what?
I find you bring it all, like it really depends. When you come to a property, I never know what I'm going to get.
No, because the home, I really let the home speak to me. I don't come in with preconceived notions. I come in with, I know what needs to happen in order to make it feel calm, cohesive, and keep the focus on the space, because that's what we're selling. Yeah. At this point, it's not about decor. And this is where the push and pull. It's a kind of a bit of a fine line. I really walk in and I let the home speak to me. Yeah. So if it's mid-century modern, we lean into that. But we're going to do it, in such a way that the home speaks, not the decor. If the first thing they're focusing on is the lamp or the sofa or the cushions on the sofa, or they hate that art above that's not what the objective is. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Did I answer that? I know I went on.
I feel like you answered a few things about that. You also really, what I love about your work as well is that you really focus on flow in a home. When I'm walking around with you during a consult, or when Isabel's walking around with you during a consult, you repeatedly talk about, when a buyer is walking through here, this is the flow that they're going to kind of want to see. So I think that's really neat too. And something that you do is that you are a little more focused on, really how the buyer is going to 100% try and envision themselves in the home.
As I'm walking through somebody's house, my brain, my mind's eye is focusing on the buyer's perspective. Yes. And the media's perspective. Yeah. How is it going to be photographed? Yes. What angles are going to be shown? And then also, how is it going to be viewed as they're scrolling through those photos online? Yeah. I want the presentation to feel like one cohesive collection, one cohesive presentation, not just
pretty,
not just pretty,
because we love pretty.
I love pretty. I love little vignettes.
Look
I know.
At this set,
Give me all the pretty.
Did you stage this?
I did not, but it's fantastic.
I know, right? Didn't they do such a good job?
I know. I commented on that.
But it's not just pretty. It's about like effectiveness.
It's effectiveness. Yeah. We are really focusing on selling a lifestyle. Yeah. It's really, I want the person to walk through the home and feel like they could be part of it. And this is why we talk about simple things like take away your family photos, take away your personal collectibles, take away anything that kind of speaks as take it away.
Yeah.
We want to present kind of a blank slate, but not so blank that it's cold,
Yeah,
right? So this is the
exactly.
fine line.
Yeah, exactly. So in our closing questions, we have two that we actually really, really love. And we're coming to the close. Can you believe we've been talking for like 20 minutes already?
No.
I know it feels, see?
I love this.
Isn't this great? I know. It's so true. Once you start getting into it.
But it's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
Oh, stop. Okay. So here's our two closing questions. And I think we're pretty proud of these questions that we came up with. So our first one is just, what is something that you are loving right now? Book, food, skincare regime.
Oh my gosh.
Anything. What's
this
one thing?
It's going to sound random. I've literally, and I'm not just saying this because this is a podcast.
Okay.
I literally late last year started listening to podcasts.
Really?
Don't know. Yes. I don't know why it's not been on my radar. My brain is busy. I'm constantly, life.
Yeah.
Whatever.
100%.
I don't know what made me start to listen. I know what it was. It was a long drive. I had to go to a client's house, and it was a long drive.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't want to listen to the same playlist again. So before I took off, I was like,
what can I listen to?
Let's listen to a podcast.
Okay.
Podcasts.
I love them.
But my favorite one that I've zoned in on, and this is so random, it
Is
has
the
nothing
Smart Move podcast.
It's on my list. 100.
Oh, you're so precious.
Of course, 100%.
You're
of
adorable.
course, no, absolutely. But the one that got me really kind of hooked, and this has nothing to do with
anything,
real estate, with design, with anything. It's psychology. I listened to Mayim Bialik's breakdown.
Okay.
So Mayim Bialik she was a young actress.
Yeah.
And she's also on Big Bang Theory, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she, in between being a child actor and being on Big Bang, she got her neuroscience PhD.
Okay.
So she's a
so
neuroscientist.
Cool.
So literally podcasts about, you name it. I mean, it's like therapy in a car for me.
I couldn't agree more.
It is therapy in a car.
Yeah.
But I love it. They touch upon everything. Anxiety, social constructs, you name it. Psychology, human behavior.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
I know, it's so crazy.
Obsessed.
I know. It's funny that you say that because, I mean, I've been into podcasts for a while now, and that's why doing one myself really spoke to me. But the neuroscience and psychology, Mel Robbins.
I listen. Yes, I do.
Oh,
yes, I do. I listen to her.
She's so great. She is so great.
But right?
I know. I feel you.
But
I feel you on this.
Don't you feel that being in this industry and
you
working
need
with
something
people
like that?
Well, you do.
Oh, 1,000%.
For yourself, but also to understand where people are coming from. I feel, like to really understand people.
Yeah. It is huge. And that's actually big in, I mean, we don't have time to get into all of that, but that is something, maybe I'll have
you should.
I've got an idea.
You should.
Because disc personality is like crazy when you're talking about real estate and dealing with people. And it is so interesting.
It is. I find it, so I'm fascinated.
I love it.
I'm literally.
Podcasts. It's 2023, the year of the podcast. So our last one.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
It's going to be a bit sad.
Oh, don't cry.
No, I'm not going to cry.
I'm emotional today.
But you know what? I thought about, okay.
It's a hard one.
My first knee-jerk reaction answer is my dad.
Okay. 100%.
My dad passed away before I started my business. My dad passed away when I was 25. He was only 46.
Okay.
But my dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
My dad moved to Canada with nothing when he was 29 years old. Within 2 years, he had his own engineering firm.
Wow.
Started it, and he had it until the day he passed.
Okay.
So he employed a lot. Like it was. Anyway. I got his entrepreneurial spirit. I don't have his engineering mind. Maybe I do to a certain degree. I can figure things out very easily. But I have his entrepreneurial
you sure do.
mind. And starting a business for me is nothing. This Dazys Collection Home Decor is my second business.
Yeah.
I've had my own shoe store.
Yeah.
I've been so
you've done it all.
I've lived.
At 30 years old, you've done it all.
Right. But yeah, it would be my dad. It would be my dad to sit down with him and just I guess say, you know what? I felt you.
Yeah.
I got your same spirit.
Yeah. And here I am.
But
I like that. You know what? Sometimes that answer doesn't need to be so complicated. I think we try. I think Isabel and I took like 12 years to try and decide mine. But
that's okay. I saw Isabel's and yours answers, and I love it because it's
and maybe I'll change it. Like I said, every month might be different.
It 100%.
Right? I like
because
that.
I've had conversations. I've been at a dinner party where I've met random people and I've had the most fascinating
and you're like, I would like
conversations.
to do that again.
So, I mean, and again,
but
tomorrow,
I like that.
I'll listen to a podcast and I'll want to speak to that person.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Today, mine is Mel Robbins.
See?
Oh, that would be so great.
She's on my list. I'm telling you.
Alla, thank you so much for coming. And taking the time to, just sit and chat with me, but then more importantly, give a bunch of your value and your insight and worth to the listeners. I am so excited for them to see this episode. Everyone at home listening, whatever platform that you use, be sure to tag the Smart Move podcast. And if you're not, follow Alla on Instagram.
Yep. Dazys Collection Home Decor.
It's a long one. We'll put it on there. And let us know what you learned from the episode. And if there's any other questions that you have for Alla or myself, be sure to tag us in this episode. Thank you again for listening. Make sure you are following us. Make sure you're following Alla, and we will see you next time.